Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so have you ever sworn, like absolutely sworn, that you left your keys on the kitchen counter, only to find them sitting right there in your pocket? It's wild, right? Today, we're basically playing detective. We are investigating this fascinating psychological mystery that is literally hidden right inside your own head. I am so pumped you're here because we're unpacking some source material that fundamentally challenges how we experience the world. It's titled Why Your Brain Tricks You Every Day, and trust me, it is going to completely change the way you think about your own thoughts. You know, we spend so much time trying to figure out the mysteries of the universe, or the complexities of the economy, or why people act the way they do, but we kind of rarely stop to investigate the actual instrument we use to perceive all that stuff in the first place, our own mind. So, get comfortable and let's unravel this whole mystery together.
So, do you truly trust your own mind? Now, that might seem like a totally weird question at first, doesn't it? Like, of course we do. We just walk around assuming we see the world exactly as it is. We trust that our vision is this flawless reflection of reality, that our memories are exact recordings of the past, and that our decisions are based on cold, hard, objective facts. But let's just hit pause for a second and really question that assumption. For example, did you know that your peripheral vision is actually mostly colorblind? Yeah, your brain literally just paints in the colors for you based on what it expects to be there. Crazy, right? And look, since we're all about focused learning here, we know the first step to true understanding is questioning the basics. What if the reality you are experiencing right at this very second, like the screen you're looking at, the sound you're hearing in this explainer, what if it's all being heavily edited before it ever even reaches your conscious awareness?
Because the source material we're looking at today makes a seriously bold claim. It says this deception isn't just some rare optical illusion you'd find in the back of a psychology textbook. No, it is your standard operating system. Every single day, your brain is quietly editing reality behind the scenes before you even perceive it. We usually treat those moments, where we totally misremember a minor detail from childhood, as weird exceptions to the rule. But the information we are unpacking today flips that entirely on its head. The trick is not the exception. The trick is the rule. It is running seamlessly in the background, literally from the moment you wake up to the second you go to sleep.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, The Daily Illusion, Unmasking Your Reality.
So here's the deal. There is this massive, completely invisible gap between absolute reality and what you actually experience. We all kind of expect the raw, unfiltered data of the universe, the exact photons of light, the precise decibels of sound, to reach us perfectly. That's what we think of as the objective truth of a situation. But in reality, your brain acts as a really heavy filter. It just deletes whatever it decides is unimportant, and it completely fills in its blind spots with its own best guesses. It's feeding you this highly curated, tricked-out version of the world, even coloring neutral events with your past emotional baggage. What you are consciously experiencing, it's never that absolute reality. It is always this heavily edited substitute.
And let's look at that word for a second. By definition, a trick is a cunning or skillful act or scheme intended to deceive, outwit, or alter perception. To really get that, we have to stop looking at our minds like perfect computers and start seeing them as flawed, cunning narrators. Think about it. A computer just spits out raw data exactly as it came in. But your brain is way more like a Hollywood film editor. It takes all this raw footage of your life, cuts out the boring parts, adds a little dramatic music, splices in some special effects, and then hands it back to you as this perfectly seamless documentary. It is actively altering your perception, and it is doing it with incredible skill.
Which brings us to Section 2, Why Your Brain Tricks, Uncovering the Motive.
So, the big question, why? Why would your brain deceive its own host instead of just giving you the unvarnished truth? I mean, on the surface, it seems completely counterintuitive. Your brain's main job is to keep you alive and help you navigate the world successfully. So why feed you illusions? Well, it's actually because absolute reality is just way too overwhelming. To put this into perspective for you, your eyes alone take in literally millions of bits of information every single second. Millions. But your conscious mind, it can only process a tiny, tiny fraction of that. If your brain actually tried to process every single pixel of reality perfectly, you would experience massive cognitive overload. So the trick is actually a brilliantly evolved survival mechanism. By using mental shortcuts or heuristics, your brain happily sacrifices perfect accuracy just to give you speed and efficiency.
And this whole manufacturing process of your perceived reality, it happens in milliseconds. It's a three-step dance. Step 1, the brain receives raw reality. Light hits your retinas, sound waves hit your eardrums. But then, almost instantly, Step 2, before you can even register it, it's sent right to the editing room. Your brain alters the information. It applies your personal biases. It smooths over any missing pieces. And finally, step 3. The brain presents the trick as absolute truth to you. By the time you're actually consciously aware of a sight, a sound, or a memory, you're only ever holding the final polished trick. And because you never feel that editing process happening in the background, you naturally just accept the final product without a second thought.
Okay, moving right along to section 3. Who is really in control? The ultimate mystery. When we put all of this together, a pretty startling dynamic emerges. First, your brain acts as a completely independent narrator. It is quietly writing the story of your reality before you even get a chance to read it. Second, this deception is a daily routine, not an anomaly. It is happening right now as you're listening to this explainer. And third, and this is the wild part, you are essentially the captive audience to your own mind's tricks. You're basically sitting in the movie theater of your head, watching a film that your brain directed, edited, and produced, all while it totally convinces you that you're just looking out a clear glass window. But recognizing this dynamic, that is incredibly powerful. It finally allows you to step back and start questioning your initial reactions, your sudden judgments, and those things you feel absolutely certain about.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final provocative thought. If your brain tricks you every single day, whose reality are you truly living in? Are you living in the objective world, or are you living in a highly customized, slightly distorted simulation built specifically by you, for you? The next time you feel absolutely 100% certain about a memory or a detail you saw or some sudden judgment you just made, just remember that your cunning little narrator is always hard at work behind the scenes. Questioning your own perception isn't a weakness at all. Honestly, it's the ultimate mark of a curious learner getting closer to the actual truth. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.